The Nephilim, an enigmatic and mysterious term that has fascinated scholars, theologians, and enthusiasts for centuries. Their story, originating from ancient religious texts, has sparked endless debates about their true nature and role in history. Were they simply mythical giants, or was there some truth to their existence, deeply intertwined with the fabric of ancient civilizations? If you're interested in this topic and want to learn more, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss out on future videos that will definitely surprise you. Despite their destruction, the legacy of the Nephilim continues to capture the imagination of modern audiences. Their story has been passed down through generations, woven into the fabric of ancient mythologies and religious teachings. They continue to appear in various forms in literature, art, and popular culture, from the biblical accounts to contemporary works of fiction and film. But the question remains, were the Nephilim truly giants in the physical sense, or were they symbolic representations of a lost era? A time when powerful beings walked the earth and shaped the destiny of humanity? The evidence is largely mythological, but the influence of these giants on the world of ancient cultures is undeniable. From the monumental achievements attributed to them to the enduring fascination with their legacy, the Nephilim remain a compelling part of our shared cultural history. The Book of Enoch, one of the most mysterious and fascinating texts of antiquity, presents a detailed account of the Nephilim and their origins. While the canonical Bible mentions these beings only briefly, the Book of Enoch provides an extensive narrative that expands upon their story, painting a much more vivid picture of their celestial roots and their profound impact on humanity. For those seeking to understand the Nephilim's true nature, the Book of Enoch is the key to unlocking many of the mysteries surrounding these ancient giants. According to the Book of Enoch, the Nephilim were the offspring of the Watchers, a group of angels who descended from the heavens to interact with humans. The Watchers, led by the angel Azazel, were sent to earth to observe the behavior of humanity. However, rather than fulfilling their divine purpose, they became enamored with the daughters of men. These angels took human wives, an act that was strictly forbidden by God, and from this union came the Nephilim, the giants who would shape the course of history. The fall of the Watchers marks a key moment in the narrative of the Nephilim. In their rebellion against divine law, they not only defiled themselves but also brought great harm to the earth. The Nephilim, as their progeny, were depicted as violent and corrupt beings, whose presence on earth led to widespread chaos and suffering. The Nephilim's immense power and their ability to wield advanced knowledge, especially in the realms of magic, metallurgy, and warfare, made them formidable figures who dominated the world around them. The Book of Enoch goes further to explain how the Nephilim, alongside their angelic fathers, imparted forbidden knowledge to humanity. This knowledge was not limited to material or scientific discoveries, but extended to esoteric practices that were believed to be dangerous and corrupting. The teaching of these arts was seen as a great transgression, as it led humanity down a path of sin and disobedience to God. One of the most significant aspects of the Book of Enoch is its portrayal of the Nephilim as a catalyst for the corruption of mankind. The angels, by teaching humanity the secrets of the heavens, disrupted the natural order and introduced skills and knowledge that were beyond the understanding of humans. This infusion of divine wisdom into the human realm led to violence, oppression, and moral decay. The Nephilim, in this sense, are not merely portrayed as powerful giants, but as symbols of forbidden knowledge and the chaos that arises when humans reach beyond their limits. The connection between the Nephilim and the heavens is also highlighted in the apocalyptic sections of the Book of Enoch. The angels' descent to earth, their union with human women, and the subsequent birth of the Nephilim were seen as a direct challenge to God's authority. As a result, the divine response was swift and severe. God, angered by the transgressions of the Watchers and their offspring, decided to send the great flood to cleanse the earth. This cataclysmic event would wipe out the Nephilim and restore the natural order, purging the world of the corruption that had been brought on by these fallen beings. Interestingly, the fate of the Watchers is also described in the Book of Enoch. After the flood, they were bound in chains and imprisoned in the abyss as punishment for their rebellion. The Nephilim, their mortal offspring, were not spared from divine judgment. According to the text, they were also destroyed in the flood, leaving no trace of their once mighty existence. The destruction of the Nephilim serves as a reminder of the consequences of defying divine law and the corrupting power of forbidden knowledge. The apocalyptic vision presented in the Book of Enoch serves as both a warning and a reflection of the ancient belief in the danger of angels intervening in the affairs of humanity. It also raises profound questions about the nature of humanity's relationship with the divine and the consequences of seeking knowledge that lies beyond the boundaries of the mortal world. The Nephilim's connection to the heavens is not just a tale of giants and angels, but a deeply symbolic narrative about the dangers of pride, defiance, and the pursuit of power without wisdom. Though the Book of Enoch was not included in the canon of most major religious traditions, its influence on religious thought and apocalyptic literature cannot be overstated. The Nephilim, through their celestial origins and their eventual downfall, embody the tension between divine will and human ambition. They are both a warning and a reminder of the delicate balance between the heavens and the earth, between knowledge and wisdom, and between power and responsibility. The Nephilim, as giants and beings of immense power, were believed to have had a profound influence on the civilizations of antiquity. While the story of the Nephilim is most famously recounted in the Book of Enoch and the Bible, their impact extends far beyond the confines of these texts. Ancient civilizations across the world, from Mesopotamia to the Americas, have stories of giants or deities who were believed to have shaped human history, civilization, and culture in ways that continue to captivate the imagination. In the ancient world, the Nephilim's influence was not only physical but also cultural and technological. According to various traditions, these beings taught humans many of the arts and sciences that propelled ancient societies to great heights. Their contributions were often seen as divine gifts, but they also carried the potential for destruction when wielded by those who were not ready for such power. In the ancient Near East, the story of the Nephilim and their celestial parentage had a direct influence on the rise of powerful empires. The giants were said to have passed down knowledge of architecture, agriculture, and metallurgy to humankind. In particular, the Nephilim were believed to have introduced the secrets of building massive structures, pyramids, ziggurats, and megalithic temples, that still stand as awe-inspiring monuments to their power. In Mesopotamia, ancient kings were often depicted as semi-divine figures, imbued with the strength and wisdom of gods. The Sumerian king Gilgamesh, for example, was described as two-thirds divine, with supernatural strength and the ability to perform incredible feats. His exploits, such as his quest to defeat the giant Humbaba and his journey to the cedar forest, echo the themes of giant heroes and gods from the Nephilim myths. The connection between Gilgamesh and the Nephilim is more than symbolic. It suggests that the ancients believed the giants' influence on kings and rulers was not just mythological, but deeply rooted in their worldview. The Nephilim's impact on early technological advancements is also significant. The Book of Enoch describes how these giants imparted forbidden knowledge to humanity, including the secrets of metallurgy, weapon-making, and magic. It is said that the Nephilim taught humanity how to forge weapons of war, which led to the rise of destructive technologies. This knowledge was both a gift and a curse, as it enabled civilizations to advance rapidly, but also sowed the seeds of violence and destruction. In the Americas, ancient cultures such as the Aztecs and Mayans also have their own myths about giants or gods who descended from the heavens and brought civilization to their people. These giants were often credited with the development of agriculture, architecture, and astronomy. The Nephilim, with their celestial origins, bear striking similarities to these deities, beings who arrived from the heavens to teach humanity the secrets of the earth and sky. The influence of the Nephilim on ancient religions cannot be overlooked. In many ancient belief systems, the gods were seen as the ultimate source of knowledge and power, but these gods were often portrayed as distant and remote from the everyday lives of humans. The Nephilim, on the other hand, were thought to have interacted directly with humanity, influencing not just the rulers and elite, but the common people as well. This direct connection between gods and mortals is a key theme in the mythology of many ancient civilizations, from the Greek pantheon of gods to the divine kings of Egypt. However, as the Nephilim taught humanity these powerful secrets, their influence began to take a darker turn. The knowledge they imparted was not without consequence. The Book of Enoch portrays the Nephilim as beings who were responsible for corrupting humanity, leading people into sin and moral decay. The giants, with their otherworldly wisdom, encouraged mankind to embrace knowledge without the wisdom to use it responsibly. This led to the downfall of civilizations as they fell into chaos, violence, and warfare. In the Bible, the Nephilim are seen as one of the primary reasons for the flood that wiped out much of humanity. The flood, as a divine response to the corruption brought about by the Nephilim, represents the ultimate cleansing of the world from their influence. However, even after the flood, the legends of these giants persisted, showing that the legacy of the Nephilim remained embedded in the stories and beliefs of ancient cultures. Despite their fall from grace and the destruction brought on by their actions, the Nephilim's legacy lived on. They continued to be a source of inspiration for stories of heroic figures, demigods, and powerful rulers. Their influence on the ancient world was undeniable, shaping not only the physical landscape but also the spiritual and cultural beliefs of civilizations across the globe. In modern times, the story of the Nephilim remains an enduring part of human mythology. Whether viewed as fallen angels, giants, or divine beings, the Nephilim continue to capture the imagination of writers, filmmakers, and scholars. Their impact on ancient civilizations, both in terms of technology and culture, is a testament to their lasting presence in the collective consciousness. The stories of the Nephilim, passed down through ancient texts and oral traditions, have long been a subject of fascination and mystery. While the myths and legends surrounding these giants are rich in detail, the question remains, do these stories have any basis in historical fact? Were the Nephilim simply a product of ancient imagination, or is there archaeological evidence that might support their existence or the existence of beings like them? The challenge in answering this question lies in the fact that much of the evidence related to the Nephilim comes from religious texts, such as the Book of Enoch and the Bible, rather than historical records or archaeological findings. Nevertheless, the connection between mythology and physical evidence is not as straightforward as one might think, and many scholars have spent years attempting to bridge the gap between the two. In the absence of direct archaeological evidence for the existence of the Nephilim as giants or fallen angels, scholars have sought to draw connections between ancient texts and historical records. One of the key elements that link the Nephilim to real-world history is the widespread occurrence of myths about giants in different ancient cultures. From the Greeks and Romans to the Egyptians and Sumerians, tales of gods, heroes, and giants who interacted with humans abound. These myths, while varying in detail, share common themes of powerful beings descending from the heavens, often influencing or even ruling over human civilizations. In Mesopotamian mythology, the Epic of Gilgamesh recounts the tale of a king who was 2/3 divine and 1/3 human. His extraordinary strength and abilities suggest a figure that, much like the Nephilim, might have been considered more than human. Gilgamesh's accomplishments, including his battle with the giant Humbaba and his quest for immortality, mirror the types of heroic feats attributed to the Nephilim in ancient traditions. Similarly, the Sumerian king list contains references to rulers who reigned for thousands of years, figures whose extended lifespans and seemingly superhuman qualities might reflect the influence of the Nephilim myths. But the question remains, can these myths be considered evidence for the existence of the Nephilim, or are they simply part of a broader cultural archetype of giant beings? While the myths themselves are compelling, they do not constitute proof in the traditional sense. That said, some scholars have pointed to certain archaeological findings that may offer indirect support for the existence of the Nephilim, or at least for the belief in giant beings in ancient times. One of the most intriguing pieces of evidence comes from ancient burial sites. In various cultures, burial mounds have been discovered containing the remains of individuals who were extraordinarily tall, even by the standards of ancient peoples. In some cases, these remains suggest that the individuals buried in these tombs had unusual physical characteristics, such as large bones or unusually elongated skulls. While these individuals may not have been literal giants, their physical stature may have contributed to the development of the giant myths in ancient cultures. In addition, there have been reports of giant skeletons being uncovered throughout history, particularly in the Americas. These claims, often sensationalized, suggest that giant human remains were once found in ancient burial mounds, leading some to speculate that they might be the remains of the Nephilim or beings of similar size. However, the majority of these reports have been debunked as hoaxes or misinterpretations of the evidence. Nevertheless, the idea that giants once roamed the earth remains a persistent theme in various ancient and modern narratives. Perhaps one of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the existence of the Nephilim, or at least the belief in beings of giant stature, comes from the study of ancient architecture and engineering. Throughout history, civilizations have constructed massive structures that seem beyond the capabilities of the people who built them. The pyramids of Egypt, the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, and the stone megaliths of ancient Europe all stand as testaments to the advanced knowledge and capabilities of ancient builders. Some theorists argue that such feats of engineering could only have been achieved with the assistance of beings of great size and strength, beings like the Nephilim. While mainstream archaeology dismisses these ideas, the sheer scale of these ancient structures continues to fuel speculation about the involvement of otherworldly beings. The discovery of ancient texts that describe beings with abilities and knowledge beyond human comprehension also adds to the mystery of the Nephilim. The Sumerian texts, for example, mention the Anunnaki, a group of deities who were believed to have come from the heavens and imparted knowledge to humanity. Similarly, the Egyptian Book of the Dead speaks of gods and beings who descended to earth and shared secrets with humans. While these texts do not explicitly mention the Nephilim, their stories echo the themes of celestial beings interacting with humanity, a concept that is central to the Nephilim narrative. While the search for definitive archaeological evidence of the Nephilim remains elusive, the persistence of giant myths across different cultures and the discovery of unusual physical remains and architectural wonders suggest that the idea of giant beings may have been rooted in more than just fantasy. Whether the Nephilim were real beings or simply powerful symbols of divine influence, their story continues to resonate with modern audiences, inspiring exploration into the mysteries of the ancient world. In conclusion, the connection between the Nephilim and ancient civilizations is a complex and multifaceted one. While the evidence for their existence remains speculative, the myths and stories surrounding these beings continue to influence our understanding of the past. The Nephilim, whether real or imagined, serve as a reminder of the enduring power of ancient myths and their ability to shape our perceptions of history, culture, and the unknown. The Nephilim, once figures of ancient myth and divine mystery, have left an indelible mark on modern culture. From literature to films, video games, and even conspiracy theories, the giants of old continue to inspire fascination and intrigue. While their story may have originated in religious texts such as the Book of Enoch and the Bible, the Nephilim have evolved into symbolic figures, embodying themes of forbidden knowledge, power, and the consequences of humanity's reach for the heavens. In modern times, the Nephilim have become central figures in apocalyptic literature and entertainment, often portrayed as ancient beings who either predate humanity or exist on the fringes of human understanding. These stories of giants, fallen angels, and secret knowledge offer a blend of mythology, mystery, and drama that appeals to a wide audience. Whether in books, films, or television shows, the Nephilim are often depicted as both saviors and destroyers, embodying the complex relationship between humanity and the divine. One of the most notable aspects of the Nephilim's legacy in modern culture is their association with the supernatural. In many contemporary works of fiction, the Nephilim are often portrayed as fallen angels or demigods, with powers far beyond those of ordinary humans. They may be shown as mysterious, morally ambiguous figures, neither fully evil nor completely good, who struggle with their divine origins and human emotions. This portrayal speaks to the universal themes of identity, conflict, and the consequences of having too much power, a concept that resonates with audiences today. In recent years, the Nephilim have also found their way into the world of video games, where they are often depicted as formidable opponents or characters with unique abilities. In these games, the Nephilim are frequently portrayed as ancient warriors, using their massive size and strength to battle gods, monsters, and heroes. Their portrayal in video games and other interactive media often emphasizes their superhuman qualities, making them larger-than-life figures that players must confront or ally with. These modern representations continue to build upon the idea of the Nephilim as powerful beings with the ability to shape events on a cosmic scale. Books, particularly those within the fantasy, science fiction, and supernatural genres, have also played a significant role in reviving the Nephilim myth. Authors like Dan Brown and Rick Riordan have incorporated the idea of divine or semi-divine beings into their stories, often drawing on the ancient myth of the Nephilim. For example, in the popular Percy Jackson series, Riordan introduces the concept of demigods, children born from a union of gods and humans, a theme reminiscent of the Nephilim's origins. Similarly, in works like the Da Vinci Code, Brown explores hidden knowledge, secret societies, and the power of ancient beings, motifs that are closely aligned with the Nephilim mythos. Movies, too, have embraced the Nephilim's narrative. In films like Transformers and The Matrix, characters who are either part human or part divine battle against overwhelming odds to protect humanity or destroy corrupt powers. These films often touch on the Nephilim archetype of beings with great power, who are also burdened by their origins and the knowledge they possess. The portrayal of these characters as powerful yet vulnerable speaks to the ancient belief that those who possess too much knowledge or strength can be both saviors and destroyers, reflecting the complex nature of the Nephilim themselves. The Nephilim's legacy also lives on in the realm of conspiracy theories. For many, these ancient beings are not just the stuff of myth, but evidence of hidden truths, suppressed knowledge, and lost civilizations. Conspiracy theorists often suggest that the Nephilim were real beings who walked the earth and that their influence continues to shape human history. Some even propose that the descendants of the Nephilim are still among us, secretly controlling global events. While such theories lack concrete evidence, they continue to fuel interest in the Nephilim and their supposed role in the modern world. In addition to their role in fiction and conspiracy theories, the Nephilim have also been linked to certain religious movements. Some modern Christian sects believe that the Nephilim were real beings, and their story is an essential part of understanding human history and the spiritual realm. These groups often interpret the Nephilim as a warning about the dangers of sin and disobedience, emphasizing the biblical narrative of the flood and divine judgment. For these believers, the Nephilim represent both the fallen nature of humanity and the potential for redemption. The symbolism of the Nephilim also extends to modern discussions about genetic manipulation, the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, and the ethical consequences of scientific advancements. In an age where genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and transhumanism are at the forefront of technological innovation, the Nephilim serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of pushing beyond the boundaries of what is natural. Their story reflects the modern anxiety about the potential consequences of tampering with the fundamental laws of nature, whether through genetic modification, artificial intelligence, or other forms of technological advancement. In summary, the legacy of the Nephilim in modern culture is one of transformation. From ancient mythological figures to contemporary symbols of power, knowledge, and moral conflict, the Nephilim continue to captivate the human imagination. Their story has transcended religious texts and ancient myths, becoming a universal archetype that speaks to fundamental human fears, desires, and questions about our place in the world. Whether as giants of old, fallen angels, or symbols of forbidden knowledge, the Nephilim are a reminder of the enduring power of ancient myths and their ability to shape modern storytelling.